Hey guys, Hong-Zhi here, hosting the first ever Mario Superstar Baseball debate tournament. Over on the Mario Baseball Club Discord, 8 people signed up to participate in a tournament debating the viability of the different Mario Superstar Baseball characters. The winner doesn't really get anything, it's just for bragging rights, but we hope that this will be a very fun event and hope that you guys can learn something by witnessing this. Today, we have a debate between Baby Mario and Peach. Most of the time, people tend to veer towards Koopa Troopa and Baby Luigi being the two worst characters in the game. But you go one step above that, and what do you have? Well, some people would say Baby Mario's the third worst in the game, and some people would say Peach is the third worst in the game. So today we're going to try to find out which character sucks just a little bit less. So, on one side of this Discord call, we have DmtGoobz, who will be
Hello.
representing Baby Mario in this debate. And on the other end of this call is Clappin' Cheeks, aka Gill. He will be representing
Yes,
Peach. Each party will have 3 5-minute arguments that they will be allowed to speak for. If they go over that 5-minute time limit, I will interrupt them, basically saying, "You're done, shut the fuck up," etc. Gill is trying to argue that Peach is better than Baby Mario, and Goobz is trying to argue that Baby Mario is better than Peach. Once each party has made 3 different arguments, each party will be asked to make their closing statements, and me and a panel of, I believe, 2 other judges we currently have will basically just pass judgment and tell you which one of you is a fucking loser or something. I don't know. So Gil has graciously offered to go first, so I will hand it over to Gil to make his opening statement on why he believes that Peach is better than Baby Mario. You have the floor.
All right. So I think before I get into my case, I think the 3 of us can all agree here that both our characters are fucking shit in their own way.
Yep.
I personally have a little bit, like, a very small soft spot for Peach, just because of my character bias. Like, I like picking the Toads, and having chemistry with them is always important to have. I think first thing that we can take away is that obviously being a captain, Peach obviously has 2 abilities instead of 1, being Super Catch, which is always a very nice ability to have, and Quick Throw, which on paper it seems like it's really good, but it's like 50-50 depending on where you put Peach. Most of the time, if you ever pick Peach, she's probably gonna be a relief pitcher in your team, which in that case makes Quick Throw kind of pointless. If you can find a way to squeeze her in at second base, then maybe you can make it work. But otherwise, Quick Throw is kind of useless. Super Catch, though, is nice to have. The second argument I have over Baby Mario, is her chemistry tree. Unless I'm wrong, Baby Mario's only chemistry characters in this game are his baby brother, Baby Luigi, and Yoshi. Baby Luigi is never picked. Nick tried it, and he hated every single minute of it. Yoshi is pretty much picked extremely early, usually within the first 3 or 4 picks or so, depending on who is playing. So if you have any intention on picking Baby Mario, you pretty much have to pick Yoshi, or else your character is pointless, because his only good thing about him is his speed and his supposed decent slap hit, which I personally have never tested, so I can't say whether that's true or not. But we all do know that the babies are pretty fast. His arm sucks. He does have antis with a lot of characters in the game. Fun fact: Shy Guy is actually one of them, which I don't know why. They're on the same challenge team, but apparently the babies have antis with him. Makes no sense. The second thing is Peach has chemistry with a lot of the characters, or some of the characters that are picked right now very often. Those characters are Daisy, Toadsworth, Mario, and a little bit of Luigi. Not as much, but we are seeing Luigi come out. And in my personal case, I pick Toad 90% of the time. So having Peach is pretty decent. What you're basically getting if you pick Baby Mario is a worse Noki. And I don't know why you would ever want a worse Noki, considering I know Green Noki is very highly trending up right now for a lot of people. But pretty much what Baby Mario is a star swingless Noki with a worse arm and roughly, I think, like a hair faster speed. Granted, am I saying Peach is going to be perma picked over Baby Mario? Possibly. Is it likely? Probably not, because a lot of people don't like Peach. I know even Tyler, who's like a Peach lover, he's kind of fallen off the Peach train. But honestly, I think the only reason you're ever picking Baby Mario, and you can make the same argument about Peach, the only reason why you're ever picking Baby Mario is if you have Yoshi or if you're trying to meme. And that's where I'm going to end it. My case, at least.
Okay, so that was Gill's opening statement. Goobz, you have 5 minutes for a rebuttal.
All right, so first off, I'm gonna disagree hard. Not disagree. Like, there's definitely not much of a reason to pick Baby Mario or Peach in my opinion. But like, you don't the chemistry. Like, you brought up the part of chemistry with having with all six like six characters like you listed off. None of that really ever matters though, because the only position you're ever gonna put Peach at is pitcher. Like all other positions, there's a better player available. You're not gonna put her in the outfield. Like if you're gonna put her in the outfield, put Baby Mario instead, because I don't think like Baby Mario with the speed is a much better outfielder. Um and like infield, that's tough because like there's a lot of better infielders who have sliding catch and like there's a like it's like Peach is a weakness in the infield. For you can say you put her at first, third, or catcher, but that's generally where you're gonna want to put your characters who have a much better bat. Um, like much better bat that can't play the field as well. So meaning really the only position she can play is pitcher. Uh, and their chemistry doesn't matter in the field. Also, her chemistry doesn't really matter at all batting because the character she has chemistry. The only character I could really see an argument for having chemistry is good with is Toadette because it makes her bat stronger and she doesn't really hit the ball very far, so that could like give her that extra oomph. But uh, then again, I feel like that's such a neat that's a really niche thing where you're never really gonna see that because Toadette isn't really picked that often. Um, and then for me personally, I think Baby Mario is actually a very not viable or kind of viable outfielder. Like can be picked, not necessarily every time, but some of the times. He's an 8 speed with a really crappy arm, but a somewhat good slap hit. Like his slap hit is not bad, and like that's I think that's more valuable than I think the 8 speed's really valuable because that covers a lot of like all the heavies. If they try and charge swing and hit it through the gaps, it's gonna cover all of them. It's gonna cover like DK's ball a little bit better. Um, the one issue is his arm out in the outfield, but I think he's viable on teams with DK or Pianta or like a laser throw home. So that's not really much of. I mean, it's still an issue, but it's not like it can be mitigated. So having an 8 speed out in the outfield, with an okay bat, and then you're able to mitigate around his weaknesses. Where the only position Peach can play is pitcher, and there's better pitchers out there such as Diddy Kong, Madge, Boo, Daisy, even like that have like there's much better options for pitcher. Meanwhile, there is somewhat of a niche for Baby Mario because of the speed. All right, that's my argument.
All right.
I kind of
So
rambled.
it's fine. You didn't even go over the 5 minute time limit.
Oh, nice.
All right, we're going to pass it on to Gill here. You have another 5 minutes for your second rebuttal.
All right, so a couple things you mentioned. His speed, yeah, he is fast. Like I totally agree with that. He does have a very tiny niche, but I think at that point you should just pick Toadette because she's faster than him. I don't know if her arm's better than him. It might be. I don't think it's wrong. I don't even think. I'm not totally sure. I just know that she's faster. She has sliding catch, which is very helpful to have, especially in the outfield. And going along your chemistry argument when it comes to batting, every character has that. So every character will get that like 10% boost or whatever the ratio is whenever there's chemistry at the plate. Um, if you take Peach's case, where the three more important characters are all very good slap hitters, two of them which are very good star swing abusers, that increases her chances of being able to get up with chemistry on base because we got Toadsworth, who, even without his star swing, he's got a very good singles bat. Mario Fireball is fantastic. Daisy's single bat is actually very good. I did try it a couple times. It was like all right for me. I just think I do get the argument that you really can't put Peach anywhere else besides pitcher because it is a little bit harder. Um, I think she's pretty decent in maybe like right field for cutoffs and especially cutting off sack flies because of quick throw and super catch pretty much guaranteeing that you're not going to bobble unless it's a fireball. She does. I think she is actually her speed's. I think her speed's like 5 or 6, so it's not awful. Um, but if you want to make a cutoff to a character that has a laser like DK or Pianta, Peach pretty much speeds up that process of trying to abuse the laser throw by like a good margin because Peach can immediately catch it and throw it to whoever's playing the infield, and um, it's pretty much like I'm taking like your argument of like what Baby Mario can do, minus the speed, because I do know that he is faster than Peach, and I'm kind of like amplifying it to where it's like you sacrifice a little bit of speed for better cutoff plays and better potential double plays. And I think the fact that if you can if you can pick up Mario and Toadsworth, especially on the same team, um, I think you can find some way to abuse the little like boost that Peach would get at home plate, especially if you can get the two of them on. That's even better for her case, where Baby Mario, you'll pretty much your only option to get that boost is Yoshi. And like even if you don't have that boost, like his slap hit's not. I can't really say because I have never really tested it, but if I were to make like a hypothetical guess here, I would say probably 90 to 95% of the balls Baby Mario is going to hit is either going to get robbed by one of the infielding dives or it's just going to be hit into a double play, which none of us wants. Peach has like a little bit of a weird slap hit where like you can kind of squeeze it without getting doubled up. And if in worst case scenario, you can just always use her star swing and potentially cheese the base that way because I know a lot of people in club use Daisy star swing to try and steal bases. I've personally kind of figured out how to play around that a little bit. Is it perfect? No. But I just think if you're trying to find more niche options, I think depending on your team comp, I think you're way better off going Peach and Baby Mario.
Okay.
All right.
Goobz, I'm sorry, I cut you off because you were going to do your
No, you
rebuttal.
get it.
But yeah, second rebuttal. Go ahead.
All right. I definitely see your argument for having being like Toadette, just like picking Toadette over Baby Mario. Like that makes a lot of sense. But like again, I'm particularly not a fan of Toadette's bat. I know bats don't necessarily matter, but I think like for me, and I think a lot of people in the club prefer Baby Mario's bat over Toadette, and so that and like I understand that Toadette has sliding catch, and I understand like that's like that maybe puts it even, or that like, and you can maybe argue that Toadette's better, but I still think there's like it's not Toad. I don't think Toadette's 100% better than Baby Mario just because like the preference with the bat. Um, Meanwhile, you made the argument that Peach had what is it? Super catch and quick throw.
Yeah.
Neither of those abilities really matter that much. Quick throw out in the outfield, like you said in right field, it her throw animation is pretty quick, but it's not that much quicker than Baby Mario. Like it maybe saves like a couple of frames, which is not worth it. Like that's not worth like hurting your outfield a lot more. Uh, just to have like a knee shot, like a 3 frame faster throw. Um, and then meanwhile the super catch, since Baby Mario's slide is not very good, and since he's pretty fast, it's it's not very often that you're not gonna be able to jump and catch like most balls. Like you don't you most of the time you're gonna have time to get under the ball, jump so that character won't bobble, and that's super catch basically. Like the character like Baby Mario won't bobble because you're able to jump catch almost everything. Um, Meanwhile, I think with Peach pitching, I think there were better. I don't see really how I think there are better options available with Peach pitching like there's not really a reason to ever put Peach pitching or in the outfield or in the infield really. Uh like Peach on the mound, Waluigi is basically just a better character, like every way around. And Waluigi's bottom 5, like Waluigi's a little bit more curve, throws a lot faster fastballs, and like on the batting stats, his contact stat is higher. Like Waluigi is straight up just a better pitcher than Peach is. There's also options like Dixie Kong, which if your opponent has a good pitcher, probably won't pick. I mean, probably won't pick Dixie Kong or Diddy Kong, who are both better pitchers. So I don't really see a niche for Peach in the meta. Like the 3-frame faster doesn't really mean much, considering it hurts your outfield a lot more. And the pitching, there's better characters available most of the time. There's not really, like, it's hard to say it's preference based. I guess you could say the same with Baby Mario, but for me personally, like, I like Baby Mario's bat a lot more than Toadette's. And I'm not sure you can really say the same that Peach's bat is a lot better than like Waluigi's. And like I mean, I would say it's better than Dixie and Diddy's, but I think their pitching is just a little ahead. So I don't think that's comparable. But for me, I just don't see a niche for Peach necessarily. That's my argument.
All right, Gil, your closing rebuttal right here. It's not your closing statement. You have one more statement after this. My bad. Go ahead.
It's all good. So I'm gonna kind of take the argument on like why there's really no place to pick Peach, and kind of do the same thing with Baby Mario, because it's like there's so many better options than Baby Mario in the outfield if you want him to do like what you would pick him to do. Paragumba is the first character that does come to my mind, but he does have super jump, which can, if you're going for the jump catches, it can screw you a little bit if you jump too high. Peach, it is a little difficult to pick Peach. I do agree with that. I think most of the time, if anyone ever picks Peach, it's because of personal preference. The way I'm kind of looking at this, because we do both know that these characters are horrific. They're both bottom 8 or whatever. We have them. I'm pretty sure we both have them like towards the bottom of the list. I think it's more of what we're gonna get more of out of the character, than rather just saying like, okay, this character does this thing better and this better. I think in the right comp, Peach can excel way more. I think keeping her chemistry tree in mind, and the fact that it's gargantuan in this game, I think is very, very important to keep in the back of the mind, especially if you have kind of like a hero-ish infield. I don't really see it. Actually, if you have like Toadsworth at first, then I can see it. But you're not going to use Peach's, like, I know you did say like the frame is like a hair better, but not by much. You're not going to really use Peach to try and throw someone out from home in the outfield. Like, everyone in this call knows that you'll never make a play like that unless someone like disconnects the other player's controller. I think as an outfielder, Peach's role is to get the ball to the cutoff to someone with a better arm immediately, as fast as possible, and kind of go from there. Because we all know that some characters' arms in the outfield that we all play do not have as great of arms as other characters. And this is why we have characters with lasers in the infield like DK and Pianta, and come from personal experience from playing. I've only personally played with maybe one kid who was able to throw someone out from the outfield without a cutoff. And now in this case, we all know Peach is not a character that's able to do that. So I think if we take that extra frame advantage that she gains from quick throw to get it to a cutoff man who can most likely get a turn and double play at home with like a laser throw or just chemistry throw, or depending on who you're throwing it to, I think that makes her viability slightly go up. But I think the reason why I would say Peach is better here is just because of the character changes that we've been seeing lately, and how we can see those characters being picked used to Peach's advantage. Because before, the only reason why I personally was picking Peach was because I picked both Toads and I picked Mario on occasion. So I was like, okay, I can make Peach's chemistry work with that. But now that we're seeing Daisy and Luigi come up, characters that we really personally didn't see much, for a little while. I think that makes Peach's value a little bit better. And I think if you don't want to put her at like second or short because of her mediocre dive range, third base is not a bad option. First base even isn't a bad option either if you don't think that she can do the job in the middle infield. And I know we have the big argument that center field is kind of irrelevant in a lot of cases because 99% of the time Yoshi's being put in left field instead of center or right. So if all worst comes to worst, you can put Peach in center. You can just prioritize her hitting the cutoffs as much as possible and try and just get the ball in as fast as you can. And I'm gonna make one more argument about her bat. I think when I last mentioned her star power, I referenced it in. I think it was worded like as if she was using it as a pitch. I personally would never use it as a pitch. I think it's really bad on the mound. But using it at bat is not an awful idea, depending on what situation it is. And I think it's easier to set up success for Peach at the plate with her chemistry tree and with other characters' popularity than Baby Mario's success at the plate. I think if you draft kind of like a mini Peach comp, I think you're more likely able to make Peach's bat work over Baby Mario's bat. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, good, because you're coming up on time. Goobz, you have one more argument before your closing statement. Go ahead.
All right. So I think like your argument about having Peach in the field and the chemistry of the field is just not like because you shouldn't really. I understand Peach playing Peach in center that like because center isn't really that important, but I think there's unless you really like Peach's bat, I don't think like that's just like why not just pick a character with a better bat unless you like Peach's bat more than like the characters available. But like you put Baby Mario in center and you're just gonna have a better center fielder with equal bats. Uh like Peach, in my opinion, the only value Peach brings over Baby Mario is pitching. And that in the field, Baby Mario is probably better in every position, like in the outfield mainly, because that's like the only positions that Peach and Baby Mario can like really anywhere go. Because Peach in the infield is just not good. Peach pitching is the only value I think Peach brings over. Like the chemistry in the field doesn't really matter because like putting Peach at second or short or third is not like there's much better options available. I do agree with your argument though that like having characters with like Toadette or Toadsworth and Mario and like the Star Swingers with having Peach up next, like having Peach with chemistry makes her bat a lot better. Um, but then again, like I don't think that is that much. Like that doesn't make it that much more important. Like that doesn't help Peach that much, and that would mean you have to reach on those characters when you could be getting like like not necessarily better characters down the line, but like that means you specifically have to target characters in order to get Peach to work. And you have to reach on like having to reach on Toadsworth and Mario. I don't think is worth it. Um, with Baby Mario, I think there is still like somewhat like him in the field, like the 8 speed. I think also helps a lot. It's a massive difference in the outfield. Like it provides a lot more. Uh, it provides a lot in the outfield comparatively to like other characters. Like Baby Mario versus Toadsworth in the outfield is uncomparable. Like it's not like Baby Mario is just that much. Like there is a very solid reason to pick Baby Mario because of speed. Now you could argue the same as for Toadette, and that's why I don't think Baby Mario is actually like the best because like those are like pretty equal, and you could just pick them based off preference. But with Peach, like I've said, like the only reason to pick Peach is really for pitching. Um, there are characters that you're most likely gonna see that have there is like Peach is competing with like 3 or 4 characters in that final spot instead of just Toadette, if that makes sense. And I think there's better options available, and I think there's like I guess you could like in terms of fielding, Peach has to compete with way more characters for a niche rather than Baby Mario having to compete with Toadette only. And then their bats are like probably around the same, which I know like bats are pretty subjective. Stat wise, Peach is a little better, like but by not much. Like Baby Mario's slap hit power is 44, Peach's is 46, so just a 2 difference, and then contact is like 50 to 80, which is a big difference. But um like otherwise I think the amount of value Baby Mario brings in the field is more, and I think bats are pretty subjective to where it is, and so that's why I think Baby Mario is a better character.
Okay. So we're coming on up on our closing thoughts here. Please try not to take more than a minute to just wrap up your thoughts. So
Yeah, I promise I won't. So
Yeah.
basically, from what I've gotten from your argument is just the fact that Baby Mario is a little bit faster and it's a little bit easier to fit him in. I do agree on the first statement that he's obviously faster because that's a no-brainer. I think his argument on fitting him in, I don't really agree with because I think there's at least 4 characters that can do what you want Baby Mario to do substantially better. Like I'll even personally argue that even like Red Toad is better than Baby Mario. I'm assuming you're picking him last. Um, I'm a big value guy. So like when I look at a character, I'm like, what does this character have, and what does this character present to me that wants me to pick them? Um, Baby Mario, all I see from him is Yoshi chemistry and good speed. There are a lot of characters that have Yoshi chemistry, and there are a lot of characters that have around the same style as Baby Mario, but do it much, much better. Say Diddy Kong, Paragoomba, Paratroopa, I'll even argue, even though he's top 5. Um, when I'm looking between Peach and Baby Mario, I'm like, I don't see a reason to why I would ever pick him unless it's for content. Peach, I mentioned earlier, I have a little bit more of a bias for it because I do pick Toad religiously, and I've always been a big fan of Toadsworth and Mario, so that helps her placement a little. That makes picking Peach way easier than picking Baby Mario because it's like, yes, if you pick Yoshi, you're in a good spot, but it's like,
Gil, I'm gonna have to
con.
cut you off here.
Yeah,
You're
all
just
good.
kind of rambling at this point. I just want these to be like concise, 1 minute.
Yeah,
That
got you.
done. It's not going to penalize you or anything. Don't worry.
No, I think I said what I wanted to say anyway.
All right, Goops.
Um, I think you made the argument that there's 3 or 4 characters that Baby Mario, in the outfield that are better are in the outfield better than Baby Mario. But I just say that isn't necessarily true because his speed differentiates himself than those characters. Like you can argue that Baby Mario isn't as good as those characters, but there's a difference, and that difference actually has a helpful use in the speed in the outfield, covering charge swings that aren't homers, or just covering more slap hits than like other characters. Meanwhile, with Peach, there are pitchers that are just objectively better than Peach, and there's not a reason to put Peach in any other position than pitcher. So there's a niche for Baby Mario, but there is not for Peach.
Okay, so this has been our Peach versus Baby Mario debate. Thank you so much to the both of you for joining us. And if this is the first debate you watched and you liked what you saw, feel free to check out more. If this is one of the middle ones, then subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.